Exterior road, just before dawn. A large reefer speeds to the empty and misty asphalt, with its maxed out headlights guiding its path. Interior reefer, continuous. A rugged driver, Ding Ding, and a passenger, Charlie, are on a race against the clock.
You dumb piece of shit. I told you the boss hates detours.
I know, and it's barely my first day, Juan. How angry do you think the boss will get?
Why did you have to eat the damn chilaquil, wey? Why?
Screw you. I was hungry. And when the corn wants to come out, it has to come out. Every doctor says not taking a shit is unhealthy.
Then you don't take a shit, dumbass. You don't take a shit.
It's been 2 weeks since I've dropped one. I'm constipated, Juan, and you don't fuck with that. Besides, I feel 10 pounds lighter after unloading that submarine.
He lifts his shirt.
Am I right?
Large belly on display.
Stop talking shit.
With eyes on the road, Ding Ding leans in, opens the glove compartment, pulls out a flip phone from within a rubble.
And make yourself useful.
Is the boss that cheap?
There's a piece of paper with 10 digits inside. Hurry up and read them aloud.
Charlie searches in the glove compartment.
Hermano, how do you expect me to find this paper in the middle of all this shit?
He finds it.
Got
Pulls
it!
it out.
It's 786-781-1516.
Ding Ding dials the number, sets the phone to his ear, sweating.
Parce, who are you calling?
Exterior street, rainy evening. A sharp-dressed man folds close his umbrella, crosses the street into a busy sidewalk, shakes the umbrella dry. Once ready, the man walks into interior Savoureux, continuous. A pair of piercing brown eyes, slowly revealed to belong to a professionally dressed journalist, Nerea Velasco, who sits by herself drinking wine. A sold-out environment as her cell phone rings. Nerea dismisses the call as a waiter stops her at the table with an elegant dish in hand.
1 medium rare smoked filet mignon over a potato puree and roasted fennel, topped with a chocolate-infused cherry sauce.
I'm sorry, there must be some sort of mistake. I didn't order any of this.
Compliments of the chef. Bon appetit.
Thank you.
The waiter walks away. Nerea stares at her plate as, match cut, hours later. While all alone in the dining hall, Nerea turns to her watch as her plate remains untouched. The restaurant is now closed. Falcon, off screen.
My apologies, Miss Velasco.
The owner and chef, Javier Falcon, walks towards Nerea. He stops at her table, perplexed by her plate, untouched.
Truly, we can't seem to catch a break behind those doors. It is Nerea Velasco, right?
Yes, it is. And please, chef, there's no need to apologize. I'm sure whatever was going on behind those doors was more important.
Do I smell sarcasm?
God, no. More like a glass too much to drink.
I could fetch you some water.
That'd be lovely. Thank you.
While I'm at it, would you like a different dish? In case the filet wasn't doing it for you.
Oh, no, please, don't bother. Gosh, how embarrassing. I'm vegetarian.
What a luxury, don't you think?
Nerea awkwardly snickers.
You do know we only serve meat-inspired dishes. Besides, wasn't Paul the one writing the column?
Nerea pulls out of her purse a dictaphone, sets it on the table, presses record. A red light slowly blinks.
I do. And he was, but Paul is out of town, so tonight you get me instead.
A vegetarian journalist writing a puff piece on Savoureux. How comforting.
Come on, I'll make you worth your while. I promise, chef.
All right. But stop with all of it, the chef nonsense. Call me Javi. Everyone calls me Javi.
Okay, Javi.
Falcon smiles back at her playfulness.
Do you consider yourself a self-made man?
Are you asking if I consider myself successful by my sole efforts and sacrifices? Because I don't.
Falcon sits across Nerea, serves her water from a pitcher.
Don't put words into my mouth. You know what I mean. You might keep your upbringing close and private, but you were raised in poverty.
Not by choice.
Well, that's as far as we know.
Don't you think that's for a reason?
I don't know. You tell me.
You sure are starting strong.
I know you think your menu sells itself.
Well, it would if you had a bite. Who knows? It might just convert you.
Nerea is not surprised. She waits.
To consider myself a self-made man would mean not to acknowledge my entire staff.
Kitchen brigade hard at work.
The few friends who, regardless of my personality, always supply me with their unfiltered opinions.
His friends dislike the taste, spit out the food.
Or the countless sleepless hours my mother endured to have 3 jobs because it still wasn't enough to put food on the table.
His mother riding the bus after a long night of work.
You meant to say survive, didn't you?
I meant to say I'm not self-made, but rather the make of many.
Shall we talk to your mother then? Has she tried your dishes, or have I gained another vegetarian ally?
He looks down.
I'm so sorry. How stupid of me. I keep on digging my own grave here.
Don't be, it wasn't your fault. With the cold weathers, she died making sure I had something to eat.
Swoosh! The kitchen doors swing open. The sous chef Clara walks into the dining hall.
All sides are measured and set up for tomorrow, chef. Should I cut the meat? Don't bother, I'll handle that myself. You've had a long night, Clara. Get yourself home. Good night, chef.
Nerea smiles back at Clara, who exits through the kitchen.
Us two now.
Nerea's phone vibrates. An incoming call. She declines it. Interior reefer. Continuous.
Fuck!
Dials once more. Phone to his ear.
Calm down and give the boss a minute, huevon. He might just call us back.
Crack. Tintin breaks the flip phone in half.
Marica, why would you do that?
Tintin throws the flip phone out the window.
Got no bars, pendejo. I have instructions to follow.
Poof! Frontal tires blown up. The reefer goes to a full stop. Bam! Charlie's forehead lands on the glove compartment.
Hijo de puta, a little warning next time.
Mames, Charlie. Can't you see our tires went bust?
Charlie wipes off the foggy windshield, squinting his eyes at the distant pair of incoming flashing red and blue lights.
Tintin?
No, what way?
Charlie points ahead. Another pair of lights reflect on the side mirror. Ting Ting leans in. He struggles to get a better view. To himself, snickering.
Gotta be shitting me.
He rests his head against the seat, shakes his head.
The cops, Tintin. The cops!
The pair of lights ahead now double, speed towards them, revealing themselves to be black SUVs.
Of all fucking days.
What are you doing? Drive! Drive!
Do I look like Fred Flintstone to you? We're out of tires, you dumb fuck.
The SUVs park mid-street. 2 more park from behind. The road is now blocked, vibrantly lit in red and blue.
What now, huevon?
Tap, 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 tap. An FBI agent knocks on Tintin's side window.
FBI! That's where I can see them.
Not a word, Charlie. You hear me?
Marica, swear to me that we're only delivering a popsicle
Not
order.
a word.
Interior Savoureux. Continuous.
Bet it feels fulfilling to have a week go as smoothly as tonight.
Falcon replies with a smile.
Doors barely opened a week ago and you have a 6-month waiting list. That's kind of a success. It's a rarity. Did you as a kid ever think that was a possibility?
Well, I never saw this kind of success in my life, much less as tangible as it feels at this table we sit on.
Falcon brushes his hand on the tablecloth.
You got to remember, a kid of that age living under the circumstances I used to live in, this life I have was as unattainable as running water. My priorities were other. All I ever hoped for was a meal a day, and if I was a woman, then that was going to consider a great day.
And now here you are.
With a cold dish in front of me.
Falcon notices the dictaphone's red light no longer blinks.
Embarrassing. I won't hear the end of it, aren't I?
Not if it's working, no.
Points at the dish.
Do you mind?
Not at all.
Falcon pulls the dish close. With knife and fork in hand. He cuts through the tender meat. He eats a slice, savors it.
You know, I find it rude to dispose of a good plate of food whenever offered.
Chef Falcon eating a cold dish? Readers will want to hear this.
Off the record, Senorita Velasco.
Since we're at it, might as well just tell me all about your secret ingredient.
You wouldn't believe me.
Another slice into his mouth. He chews with enjoyment.
You'd be surprised.
Show you what lies behind those doors, but then I'd have to kill you. That's kind of a mess, you know, in here.
Right. We wouldn't want that.
Yeah, not even on my own brigade knows what the secret ingredient is.
Nerea smirks, not getting what she wants.
Well, we still have the elephant in the room to deal with.
The vegetable list menu.
How can you expect customers like myself to dine in Savoureux when all you offer is meat at 6 times the price of any other restaurant in town?
I hope not to offend Nerea, but apart from being a vegetarian, you can't afford the luxury we offer.
Puzzled.
None taken?
See, Savoureux is unattainable delicacy. We're not meant to be offered by all, or afforded by all. Just as I once couldn't afford vegetables growing up, it is only fair if I make it just as impossible, if not harder, for the rich and famous to taste my meat.
More the reason for me not to be worthy of this plate, don't you think?
When given an opportunity to taste life, do you dismiss it or do you take it by the neck?
He chews on another juicy slice of meat.
I wouldn't know anything about living, Javi. Especially the last 2 weeks, which have been nothing but shitty to me.
Exterior road, continuous. Slam! Ding Ding's head is pushed against the reefer's side wall. Charlie's head is pressed against it. Cuffing Ding Ding.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a...
2 agents, Pullman and Gray, walk past, heading to the back of the reefer, keys in hand.
Wanna do the honors?
Huh.
She hands the keys to Pullman.
I thought you never asked.
Key and padlock.
Shall we put a bet on it?
I'm listening.
100 says it's Coke.
All right, I've got fentanyl.
I go nothing.
Gray steps back as Special Agent Cromwell steps in.
Apologies, sir.
Relax, kid. The lead we got is stranger than fiction.
So then why take it?
So I can tell her I told you so.
Pullman and Gray chuckle.
Anyway, let's get this over with. I've got a wife about to wake up with my side of the bed empty.
Pullman unlocks the large padlock, slides out the breakaway hinges, swings the gates open. Cold air breezes out an eerie whistle through the frosted plastic strip curtains that hide the dark and freezing interior. Pullman, disgusted.
God, that's pungent.
Is that garlic?
They pull out their flashlights.
Flood it.
Flashlights turn on, aimed at the curtains. Cromwell climbs up, steps into the reefer, hand on a plastic strip. He pulls it to the side, clearing the view.
Oh my God.
Pullman, call it in, will you? Make a perimeter and bring in Velasco.
Lights aimed at us, screen submerged in white. Interior Savoureux, continuous. Nerea's phone vibrates. Another incoming call. Nerea declines it.
I'm sorry.
Sure, it could be your family.
I know what you're doing, but tonight's all about you, Javi. How about we circle back to my next question? If given the chance, what would you say to your 10-year-old self?
You're fishing once again.
Really? Then take the bait.
All right, I'd ask him not to veer off his path, no matter how dark, as it eventually leads to this.
So you acknowledge the success.
Mostly the pain that comes with it.
Smug.
But yes, I'd be a fool not to.
And now he gloats. So much for your humbleness. You had me there for a second.
One can't expect a tiger to change its stripes, nor a leopard its spots.
Am I the leopard in this analogy?
Both chuckle.
Depends on how lucky you believe you are in this analogy.
I don't know about that, but I do believe we make the bed we sleep in.
Is that why you stopped recording?
Incoming text. Nerea reads. What the fuck are you doing there?
Sounds like you're cute to take over this interview, Javi.
When did you stop recording?
The moment Clara walked in.
Who are you and why are you here?
For our purposes, the who doesn't matter, but the why. I've had a lot on my plate. Delayed interviews, meetings, side columns, barely slept. It was clear that I was in over my head at work, but that didn't matter. Nothing would distract me.
Nerea opens the door. Her mother smiles with luggage in hand.
Not even when my mother showed up on my doorstep, hoping to imitate an earlier time in our lives. She seemed happy, so I expressed myself.
A stressed Nerea snaps, yells at her mother.
She apologized! Contrite!
Nerea's mother cries, apologizes.
I gave her my back, continued to work, and heard the door close, unaware that her shadow would be the last I'd ever see from her.
Nerea sees her mother's shadow on her table, walk away. Falcon attentively listens, grip tightening.
I tried calling her, with the hope that I could apologize, but all my calls went straight to voicemail. I rushed to the police, was asked to wait 24 hours to file a missing persons report, so I did. I waited, came back, filled the damn thing, and as I turned around...
Nerea reports her missing mother to an officer. He prints a sheet of paper, leaves his desk, walks towards a corkboard, pins the missing persons report over another.
This board, twice my height, stretched across the wall that stood in front of me. Hundreds of eyes, missing people staring at me.
Nerea stands in front of a missing persons board, stacked with Hispanic faces. She gets overwhelmed by the quantity.
That was until an officer asked. Many were there from this month alone, but all I could see in them were my mother's eyes, judging me.
The hundreds of individual faces are now one, Nerea's mother.
That was until an officer asked.
All right, cut the shit. What do you want?
Suddenly, I remembered this app she uses used to track her pacemaker functionality.
I said cut the shit. What do you want?
Suddenly, I remembered this app she used to track her pacemaker's functionality.
She pulls out her phone, shows off a tracking app.
Turns out, it can also track its location. Pretty cool, right? And according to this, she's somewhere in your kitchen. Perhaps the freezer?
Beat.
You see, Javi, I've known about your secret ingredient for weeks.
Long beat.
I take it by the face that you haven't discovered the pacemaker inside of her yet.
Beat.
No biggie, shit happens.
How?
Took about a day to figure it out. But once I did, the pattern was too obvious. All those missing, my mom included, were all Hispanic. And good on you for targeting migrants. Most in the police turn a blind eye on us already. So who to suspect of the poor Spaniard turned reverend chef of such monstrosities? You've been Americanized, a poster child, then realized American dream. You did good, Javi. You did real good.
No. None of this Javi bullshit. You call me chef.
Ultimately, your single mistake was to assume you could fuck with me and my family and get away with murder.
Exterior road, just before dawn, earlier. Nerea walks past a group of agents amassed. They step aside, letting her through. She stops in front of the reefer's wide open, gruesome interior. Frozen and naked human bodies, well preserved with seasoning, hang upside down by their ankles with a gambrel hook. Cromwell hands her a flashlight.
Do any of them look familiar?
Nerea slowly scans through the horrifying scene illuminated by the flashlight. Her hyperventilation increases until she takes a knee, eyes down, immediately sick.
Left row. Furthest back, it's her.
Cromwell pans his flashlight through the interior, fixed on a body, Nerea's mother, who hangs amongst the rest.
Pullman.
Yes, sir.
Get forensics down here, stat, and help bring the body down.
No, don't.
Excuse me?
Falcon's expecting a specific body count, and her body has the only form of tracking possible. This is the only way Falcon won't see you coming.
What of the driver? Falcon will suspect him from a mile away upon arrival.
That's for you to figure it out. But whatever you plan on doing, make it quick. He's expecting this load in 3 hours.
With a guilty look, Cromwell struggles making eye contact.
What is it?
Thank you. Nerea. I owe you one.
Nerea with a wicked look.
I do have a favor to ask.
No, absolutely not. No fucking way. If you think I'm just gonna let a civilian waltz into that place and go head to head with this fucking lunatic?
Interior Savoureux, present. Falcon slams fist on table.
Bitch! What the fuck do you want?
From afar, police sirens ring. Nerea to herself.
Tell her I'm sorry.
With purse and phone in hand, she stands up. Falcon titters.
Something funny?
One night, Little Red Riding Hood walks into the forest and stumbles into the big bad wolf. Little Red Riding Hood says, "Oh, I'm scared to walk in the forest at this hour," to which the wolf replies, "Think of me, selfish. I have to walk back alone."
Bring it down a notch, Javi. You're not the big bad wolf of this fairy tale. You are what you eat.
Another text. She reads 4 o'clock.
And what would that be?
She smirks at a furious Falcon, who jolts up, steak knife in hand, raising it midair. He aims it at a firm and confident Nerea. Whoosh! A sniper's bullet pierces the window. Splat! It lands on Falcon's head, knocking him before striking Nerea, who flinches. With splattered blood on her face, she stares at his corpse, taking it in.
Dead meat.
Police sirens ring closer. As a calm Nerea heads out, an empty plate sits on their table, glazed in Falcon's blood. Exterior Savoureux entrance, continuous. Nerea exits into the rainy night and walks away, giving her back to the distant police sirens closing in. The rain cleans off the blood on her face. While in tears, Nerea takes a deep breath in. Cut to black. The end.